They said every soul has a price, but hers was set at $3 million, and as the night swallowed the flickering neon signs of the city's unforgiving streets, a desperate girl named Eliza, with nothing left but a sick mother gasping for breath on a hospital bed and younger siblings crying over empty plates, decided to sell the only thing she had left, herself, and in a trembling moment of both shame and survival she signed away her future to a faceless old man she had never met, believing she would be chained to his desires like a bird trapped in a gilded cage. Yet what she didn't know was that this deal of despair would unravel into a storm of secrets, betrayals, and a love so twisted it would either save her or destroy her forever. Before I take you into this emotional storm, if you want more stories of heartbreak, sacrifice, and shocking twists, make sure you subscribe because the next tale might just be the one you never forget. Eliza had always been poor, not the kind of poor where you skipped lattes or wore the same shoes twice, but the kind where her shoes had holes in the soles, where she sold her textbooks to buy bread, and where her mother's cancer treatments were stopped because money ran out. So when an offer came, a mysterious contract stating that in exchange for her companionship to an elderly billionaire she would receive $3 million up front, Eliza resisted at first, but with each cough from her mother, each eviction notice on the door, and each night her siblings slept hungry, resistance shattered, and she convinced herself that she was sacrificing her body for their lives, even if it meant killing her spirit. The night she walked into the grand mansion, trembling in her thrift store dress stitched and re-stitched to look decent, she braced herself to meet a wrinkled, gray-haired man whose touch she thought would haunt her forever, but instead the doors opened to reveal someone who stole her breath. The so-called old man was a devastatingly handsome young man, tall with sharp green eyes that burned like secrets, his jaw sculpted like marble, his presence commanding the room, and he smirked at her confusion as he said, surprised. "You thought you sold yourself to a dying billionaire. No, sweetheart, you sold yourself to me, Alexander Kane, CEO of Kane Enterprises." Shock rattled her to her bones, and she wanted to run, but the contract was real, the money had already been wired, and her family's survival hung in the balance, so she stayed. Yet in the days that followed she discovered Alexander was no simple rich man playing games, he was a broken soul carrying scars of betrayal from a family who abandoned him, enemies circling his empire, and a hunger for control that often blurred into cruelty. At first, Eliza thought he was a monster, mocking her poverty, testing her loyalty, placing her in situations where she was humiliated in front of his elite friends, but as cracks formed in his cold facade, she saw glimpses of a lonely boy locked inside a gilded cage of his own, someone who craved real love but feared it would be stolen, and slowly the girl who sold herself out of desperation found herself tangled in a dangerous dance with a man who didn't want her body, he wanted her soul. The twists came sharp and fast. One night, Alexander revealed that the old man story was a trap set for gold diggers, a way to weed out those who wanted money without sacrifice, and Eliza's choice to walk into that mansion marked her as different in his eyes. Yet even as feelings sparked, danger loomed because Alexander's company was under attack by his own board, rivals sought to ruin him, and someone inside the mansion wanted Eliza gone, seeing her as the poor girl who didn't belong. Betrayals cut deeper when Eliza learned. The $3 million wasn't just charity, it was bait, a gamble Alexander made because he believed only a desperate, honest girl could withstand the storms of his world, but what he didn't expect was that she would become his strength, his weakness, and his downfall. Just when Eliza began to trust him, thinking perhaps the chains of the contract had turned into the strings of love, tragedy struck. Her mother died despite the money, leaving Eliza broken, and in her grief she lashed out, accusing Alexander of owning her but not saving the one person she sold herself for, and she fled, vowing never to be someone's possession again. Alexander, however, wasn't a man to lose what he considered his. He chased her, not with threats but with vulnerability, confessing secrets that shattered her world. His wealth came not from inheritance but from clawing his way out of poverty like hers, his parents abandoning him, his trust betrayed by the woman he once loved, and every wall he built was to protect himself from feeling what she had made him feel again. Torn between hate and love, between freedom and security, Eliza faced her own twist when she discovered she was pregnant, carrying Alexander's child, a secret that bound them even as she fought to break free, and just as she prepared to leave for good, his enemies struck, orchestrating a scandal that painted her as a gold digger and him as a fool blinded by lust, pushing Alexander to the brink of losing everything. In a final confrontation, Alexander risked it all, his empire, his name, his fortune, not for power but for her, standing in front of the press and declaring, "This woman you call poor, desperate, unworthy, she is the only reason I have something worth fighting for." and as the world gasped, Eliza realized that the man she thought had bought her soul had, in fact, sold his own heart to her. The ending was not perfect. Her mother was gone, scars remained, and their love was forged in pain and fire, but Eliza learned that sometimes the price of survival leads you not to chains, but to freedom disguised as captivity, and the girl who sold herself for $3 million discovered she was priceless all along, while the man who seemed untouchable found himself saved by the very soul he tried to buy.